Hi guys, welcome to another video of mine. Now, if you're struggling with IELTS writing, let's say you're stuck on a band 6.5 or you're just not getting a 7 or above that you really need, this video is a must watch because I'm going to share with you 4 tips that are guaranteed to get you a band 7 or above. Now, you might ask me how I'm so sure that these tips will get you a band 7 or above. Well, I'm not saying that. The IELTS examiners say that, and they say it through the mark scheme that they use. So I have deduced these 4 tips from the marking scheme that the real IELTS examiner use, and I have simplified them. I'm going to give you examples to make sure that you understand what it means so that you can apply that in your writing and get a band 7 or above. So if you're struggling with IELTS writing, you better watch this video. Let's get started with the tips. So tip number 1 that I've got for you is answer the question fully. Okay, now this is kind of common sense, right? But this is something that we kind of sometimes ignore or we don't pay attention to. Okay, but this is really important in order to get a band 7 or above. You must address all parts of the question. That's why I've underlined it and I've written it in capital, all parts. Okay, this is crucial in getting a band 7 or above. Because thing is, if we answer the question partially, you're never going to get a band 7. And why is that? Because in the marking scheme, there is something called task achievement, and that assesses whether you have answered the question fully or not. Okay, and if you don't get a good mark or a good band in task achievement, it makes it very difficult for you to get a band 7 or above. That's why it's so important. Now, let me give you an example to make sure that you understand this thing. Let's say you get this question in the exam in the IELTS writing task. Some people believe that voluntary work is good for students, while others believe it is just an extra burden on them. Discuss both these views and give your opinion. Now, there's a few points that you have to note. The first point is, I'm sorry I've written it wrong. It's not an opinion essay, it's a discussion essay because you have to discuss 2 opinions, okay? Now, so it's a discussion essay. Sorry guys, this is a mistake, please. And the second point that you have to notice that there are 2 parts to the question. Okay, because I'm giving you the tip about answering the question fully, you should know that in this question there are 2 parts. What are the 2 parts? Part number 1, you have to discuss both these views, okay? So the view number 1 is voluntary work. Some people say that voluntary work is good for students. And view number 2 is some people believe that it's not good, it's just an extra burden on students. Okay, so the first part is that you have to discuss both these views. Okay, and the second part of this question is that is in the blue, that you have to give your opinion. Okay, so now it's very important, guys, that you cover both of these parts. Let's say if you just discuss view 1 and you leave at view 2, that's not good. Or you discuss both these views, but you never mention your opinion, you never give your opinion. That is wrong as well, guys. So it's essential in order to get a band 7 or above that you answer the question fully, completely, okay? And just as a rough guide, you could write it first as introduction with your opinion, as the question asks you for your opinion. Then the paragraph 1 you can discuss view number 1. In paragraph number 2, you can discuss view number 2, and then conclusion with your main points with your opinion as well. Okay, now let's move to the next step. Tip number 2, answer all the issues in the question. Now, this one is kind of similar or it's linked to the first step, but let us look at in a little bit more detail because the marking scheme that the IELTS examiner say that you need to use in order to get a band 7 or above mention this separately. So we have to look at it in a little bit more detail. What does it mean by all the issues in the question? I'm going to give you an example, okay, to make you understand. For example, you get this question in the IELTS writing task 2. Overcrowding is a big problem in many major cities of the world. Why is this? And what could be done to solve this issue? Now, again, there are a few points that you should note if you get this question. First point to note is what kind of question it is. What kind of essay is this? It is a reason or a cause and solution essay. So they are asking you for the reasons of overcrowding or the causes of overcrowding and what solutions you can offer. Okay? Now, the second point to note is that there are two issues which are mentioned in the question that needs to be answered, okay? Now, let us look, because the tip says that we have to answer all the issues in the question. Okay, that's what the IELTS examiners say. So what is issue number one and what is issue number two? Well, the first issue to be answered is the causes of overcrowding. Okay, so what are the reasons why there is overcrowding? We have to answer that. This is issue number one. And issue number two, or the second issue that has to be answered, is solutions to the overcrowding problem. Now, again, it is kind of similar, guys, but the reason I put it as separate is because the marking scheme mentions it separately. And secondly, you need to understand what does it mean by issues in the question. Okay, so you have to answer all the issues in the question if you want to get a band 7 or above. Okay, this is critical. Now, let's move ahead to tip number 3. This is extremely important, guys. I cannot stress it enough. Tip number 3 is make your opinion crystal clear. The reason I've written crystal clear is that it should be very clear. You should never leave it ambiguous. You should never leave the examiner in any kind of doubt about your position about the question that is being asked. Your opinion or your position about the question that is being asked, your opinion should be clear throughout the essay. Now, I've highlighted throughout the essay because it should be clear in the introduction, it should be clear in the supporting paragraphs, and it should be clear in the conclusion. Okay? Now, let us look at it as an example. Some people believe, this is a question, let's imagine that you get this question. Some people believe that voluntary work is beneficial for college students. Do you agree or you disagree? Okay? So, now the statement given in this question is that some people believe, it's some people's belief, okay? It's a statement that voluntary work is good for teenagers, okay? But they're asking, what do you think? Do you agree with the statement or you disagree? You have to give your opinion. So this time it is an opinion essay, okay? And just for the sake of explaining to you guys, let's say I agree with it, okay? So I agree that volunteering is extremely beneficial for students at college. But I need to state it very clearly throughout the essay. Now let's look at how we can do that, okay? How we can make sure that it's clear throughout the essay, okay? So we can make sure that our opinion is clear throughout the essay by first mentioning my opinion in the introduction. So if it's an opinion essay, make your opinion clear. Just put it out, okay? Say it in very simple terms. If you agree, then you will say, I agree that volunteering is extremely beneficial for students at college. So when you give your opinion in an opinion essay, when you give your opinion straight out in the introduction, that tells the examiner what you think, okay? What is your opinion? That is clear. And guys, this is extremely essential in order to get a band 7. If your opinion, if your position about the question or the issue that is being discussed in task 2 is not clear, you will never get a band 7 or above. Okay. Now, the next thing, after you have mentioned your opinion in the introduction, what you have to do. In the supporting paragraphs in the opinion essay, remember we are talking about the opinion essay, okay? You have to support your opinion in the body paragraphs. What does it mean? How can you support your opinion? So it means that if you say that you agree that volunteering is extremely beneficial for students at college, you told the examiner that in the introduction. Now you need to support it. How can you support it? You need to give reasons why you say that, okay? In the 2 body paragraphs, you support your opinion by giving 2 reasons, 2 main ideas or 2 main reasons that tell the examiner why you think that volunteering is good for students. So in the first paragraph, in the first supporting paragraph, I'll write something like this, that this is my main idea, that it helps to develop interpersonal skills, because obviously I need to explain this idea and stuff like that, but this is my main idea, this is my main reason. That first, it helps to develop interpersonal skills, so that is why it is good for students. Volunteering work is good for students. And the second reason is it makes them socially responsible. It makes them more socially aware of what's going around in the world. They go out and work in maybe different charities or in different organizations. They do voluntary work, so that is why it's beneficial. These are my 2 main ideas, okay? And then, again, I restate my opinion in the conclusion. Okay, but this time I do it in different words because remember, guys, IELTS examiner hate when you use the same words. Okay, that shows them that your vocabulary is not good or you don't have a good command on English. Okay, so it's very important you say the same thing. Okay, so you can say something like, I strongly believe that opting to do voluntary work is really good for students, and then just give out your main points again, but in different words this time. So you see how I did it? So I gave my opinion in the introduction. I made it very clear that I agree that volunteering is extremely beneficial for students at college. Then in the supporting paragraphs of my opinion essay, in my body paragraphs, I gave two main ideas or two main reasons why I think that volunteering is good for students, because whatever opinion you give, you have to support that in your supporting paragraphs. Okay, so these were my two reasons. First, to develop interpersonal skills, and second, it makes them socially responsible. And third, I restate my opinion in the conclusion. Okay, this is extremely important. And I've written that, but we should do that in different words. Okay, this is also important so that it shows the examiner that you have good command on English and like you can use different words and vocabulary. Okay, now let's move to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is support your main ideas with examples. Okay, guys, it's best to support the points or the main ideas you are giving by giving examples. Okay, you have to support them. Okay, now guys, let me give you an example from everyday life. Let's say you were telling somebody that McDonald's or KFC or whatever, okay, is a really good restaurant. And let's say you were trying to convince that let's go to McDonald's because it's a very good restaurant, okay? And in order to convince them, what would you do? If they don't believe you, right? You first explain them, but if they still don't believe, you'll give an example, right? Because examples are very convincing, and that's exactly what you have to do in your IELTS exam. So let's say you would say that, for example, the food is very cheap in McDonald's compared to some other place, right? This is and the reason I'm giving you this example is because I'm trying to illustrate that how you can use examples to support your main ideas. Okay, so in the example that I just used, your main idea was that McDonald's is a very good restaurant, but you supported it by giving an example of something from real life, that the food there is very cheap, or you can say the food quality over there is very good. Okay, so that's exactly what we have to do in the IELTS exam. Okay, you have to convince the examiner that your main ideas are good, and you have to convince about whatever you are saying. If you agree with the statement, you have to give examples. Okay, now you don't have to be genius to do this. Okay, if you don't know a real life example that I now I explained to you, you just have to make up one. Okay, like guys, make something that is believable. Okay, don't make something that is totally unbelievable. Okay, now this is important. Now let me give you an example just to make sure that you understand. Let's say you get this question: overcrowding is a big problem in many major cities of the world. Why is this? And what could be done to solve it? So again, as we have already discussed, this is a reason or cause and solution essay. So let's say if I say the reason that I give, okay, that cities are getting overpopulated because of the better job opportunities in the metropolitan cities. So what's my main idea here? Why are the major cities of the world getting so overcrowded? Is because there are better job opportunities in the cities in comparison to the rural areas, okay, in most countries. Excuse me, please. So because there are better opportunities in the cities compared to the rural areas, to the villages in most countries around the world, that's why there is overcrowding in the city. That's why people are moving from rural areas to the major cities in order to get secure better jobs. Okay, so if this is my main idea, so how can I support it? What kind of example I can give in order to support my idea? I can say something like this. A survey in 2015 by Oxford Economic Society showed that worldwide, 65% of the people moved from villages to cities in search of better jobs. So, my main point or my main idea was that the cities are getting overcrowded because there are better job opportunities in the cities compared to the rural areas, right? Now, I'm giving an example that according to this survey, and guys, this is what I made up, okay? This is not true. So see how you can do it. You can just make it up. So I said, there was this survey that was done by an Oxford Economic Society in 2015, and they showed that worldwide, the whole world, approximately 65% of the people moved from villages to cities, and why they're moving in search of better jobs. So see how I'm proving my point that cities are getting overcrowded because people are moving from the villages to the cities, and why they're moving in search of better jobs. So see how it proves my point and it supports my main idea of why cities are getting overcrowded because of the better job opportunities. So that's exactly what you have to do, guys. You can make something up, but make something believable. But the example that you're making up should actually support your main idea. And here my main idea was that the cities are getting overcrowded because of the better job opportunities in the cities compared to the rural areas. And then my example said that this 65%, a high proportion of the people moved from the villages to the cities for jobs. And so obviously the cities are getting overcrowded. So that's exactly what you have to do. Guys, remember, for IELTS, it's very important. You have to convince the examiner, okay? Just imagine you're a lawyer and you're fighting the case. And you have to give examples, you have to explain yourself, you explain your main ideas, give examples to support your main ideas in order to convince the examiner, okay? So it's very important. So guys, let's move on. Okay, so guys, these were the 4 tips, and these are really important. And the reason I made this video is because I know many people struggle with IELTS writing. They're stuck at a band 6.5, but they're just not getting a band 7 or above, and it's very frustrating. But these are the tips. If you can practice these tips, okay, if you can memorize, if you can apply these tips that I have given, the 4 tips, okay, in your writing, and practice a lot, I'm sure that you can get a band 7 or above, okay? It's hard, but it's not impossible. Remember that, guys. So I hope you liked the video. If you found the video helpful, please like the video and share it with your friends and share with anybody who you know are actually doing the IELTS exam, okay? And they're struggling with the IELTS writing, especially with the TOS 2. So please share the video with them. You can share it on Facebook, on whatever other social media you're on, okay? And if it's the first time you are watching my channel and you're watching my videos, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel called IELTS Platform. And it will really help you because I've got a lot of free IELTS videos related to all 4 sections of the IELTS exam. Okay, and guys, for those of you who are interested in my mark, I got a band 8.5 overall, and I got an 8.5 in all 3 except writing, which was 7.5. Okay, so these are the tips that I used myself, and this is from a personal experience. This is not made up, and they are really useful, and that's how I improved in writing from a band 6.5 to 7.5, and that even just in a month. So these are really effective tips if you can really apply them. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I wish you good luck for IELTS preparation. Remember to stay positive and work very hard because that is the only way to success. And I'm sure if I can do it, you can do it as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.